The low hum of the recording equipment was a familiar lullaby. For weeks, I've been meticulously setting up this particular rig, a symphony of wires, microphones, and sensitive capture devices. The first GIF, the one that had sparked this whole obsession, showed the final checks. The second GIF, a subtle continuation, showed the moment I pressed record. What it didn't show was the palpable shift in the air, the almost imperceptible tremor that ran through my small, soundproofed studio as the red light blinked to life. That night, something changed. The recording, which I'd intended to be a deep dive into ambient atmospheric anomalies, the kind of esoteric research that keeps a man like me employed and slightly ostracized, captured something far more profound. It wasn't a sound, not in the traditional sense. It was more like a presence, a heavy, pressing silence that seemed to absorb all other noise. When I reviewed the playback, the audio was clean, almost unnervingly so, but the visual feed, that's where it got disturbing. The camera, positioned to capture the entire studio, showed nothing out of the ordinary at first. Then, a faint distortion flickered at the edge of the frame, like heat haze on a summer road. It grew, coalescing into a shape that defied description. It wasn't solid, yet it had form. It pulsed with a light that was both there and not there, a negative luminescence that seemed to draw the light from the room. My heart hammered against my ribs. This was beyond anything my equipment was designed to detect. I knew with the certainty that chilled me to the bone that I had to investigate. The recordings were the trigger, the undeniable evidence that something was happening, something that originated from, well, that was the mystery. I packed a smaller, more portable version of my gear, along with a few essentials, and set out. The initial readings from my portable sensors, calibrated to detect subtle energy fluctuations, spiked erratically as I moved away from my studio, leading me towards the old, abandoned observatory on Blackwood Hill. The observatory had been derelict for decades, a rusting relic of a forgotten era of scientific ambition. Locals whispered it was haunted, cursed, but I'd always dismissed such tales as folklore. Now, standing at its crumbling gates, the air thick with an oppressive stillness, I wasn't so sure. My sensors screamed. The distortion I'd seen on camera was amplified here, a tangible pressure against my skin. I ventured inside, the beam of my flashlight cutting through the thick dust motes dancing in the gloom. The main telescope, a colossal brass behemoth, was still pointed toward the sky, though its lenses were clouded and its mountains rusted solid. As I set up my recording equipment in the center of the main dome, the silence deepened, becoming a physical weight. The red recording light on my camera felt like the only beacon in an encroaching void. The anomaly began subtly, a faint shimmer in the air, mirroring the distortion from my studio. Then it intensified, coalescing into that same impossible shape. It was closer now, more defined, and I could feel a cold radiating from it, a cold that had nothing to do with temperature. My breath hitched. This was it. This was what I had captured. I watched, mesmerized and terrified, as the anomaly seemed to reach towards telescope. It wasn't a physical touch, but a magnetic pull, a warping of space itself. The rusted metal groaned, and slowly, agonizingly, the massive telescope began to move. It wasn't being pushed or pulled by any discernible force. It was as if the anomaly was unraveling, its resistance, its very structure yielding to its influence. Then, the twist, as the telescope aligned with a specific point in the night sky, a point that seemed to be devoid of stars, a patch of absolute black. The anomaly pulsed violently. The recording equipment I had meticulously set up, the sensitive microphones designed to pick up the faintest whisper, began to emit a high-pitched whine, a sound that grated on my very soul. It wasn't coming from the anomaly, but from my equipment itself. Suddenly, the anomaly vanished, not faded, but blinked out of existence, leaving behind only the oppressive silence and the slowly settling dust. The telescope, now locked into its new position, pointed at the void. My recording equipment was dead, fried. But as I stood there, trying to process what had just happened, I noticed something on my portable sensor. It was still active, and it was picking up a faint, repeating signal. It wasn't an energy signature, it was a data stream. I rushed back to my studio, the dread a cold knot in my stomach. I managed to salvage a few corrupted files from my main recording rig. The visual feed was mostly static, but the audio had something. Amidst the whine, I could faintly hear it, a series of clicks and whistles, a language I didn't understand. But the data stream from my portable sensor, once I managed to decrypt it, was the real horror. It wasn't a new signal, it was a download. It was the observatory's original astronomical data sent back from somewhere. And it was accompanied by a single, chilling message encoded in plain text. "We borrowed your eyes, we'll be back for your ears." I set up advanced recording equipment to document atmospheric anomalies, but captured something that interacted with an abandoned observatory's telescope. The anomaly vanished, but my equipment was fried. A data download revealed the anomaly was a probe that had used the telescope to download observatory data and promised to return for more. I've been trying to clean up the corrupted audio file. The clicks and whistles are definitely a form of communication, but it's unlike anything I've ever encountered. I'm cross-referencing it with known extraterrestrial communication patterns, but so far, no matches. The terror is the thought that they might be trying to communicate with us. I've been experiencing strange auditory hallucinations, faint whispers, distant static that seems to form words. I'm starting to think the borrowed ears wasn't just a metaphor. I need to secure my studio and disconnect all external networks. I fear they might be trying to establish a direct line. The observatory's original data was downloaded. What if they weren't just downloading our data, but their own? What if they were using the telescope to send information back to themselves or to a point in time? The implications are mind-boggling and terrifying.